I definitely want to lead the revolution. I also handle business affairs for music, so that's the topic of our platform today. So bonjour. And my husband reminded me that on the plane that this was actually going to be a great opportunity to remind everybody why I love doing what I do in the music industry. So I'm going to try to provide you with a quick snapshot of the biggest digital record label housed inside of a music game on the App Store. Disney Mobile. We're now an international mobile game division of the Walt Disney Company. We have 3 development studios in California and in Prague, and it's where we have the amazing opportunity every day to marry technology and imagination in the games and distribute them worldwide. So I get to play a lot. But the backstory here is that I actually came to Disney as part of a Silicon Valley startup called Tapulous. They're the developers behind the Tap Tap Revenge franchise. And Tap Tap is one of the earliest success stories of monetized music entertainment and gaming in the mobile space, all in the form of a simple rhythmic music game. So a few statistics for you. The big one here is 6 billion mobile devices worldwide today. Wow. So if you look at where we are in the US and where we are worldwide with mobile penetration, and then jump to this projection for 2016, I think it seems clear that the demand for music and games on this platform is going to continue to explode. There's a huge potential and opportunity here to capture new users and to monetize music and gaming in the same format. So why does Tap Tap work as the format? It's a simple game, simple structure, it's sticky, it's addictive, it's a lot of fun. A user taps along on tappers that fall down rails to the beat of a music track, while animated graphics and video themes scroll behind. Part of the stickiness, I think, is that it actually allows users to connect and to listen and to play with music and to play and engage with an entire track for 3.5, 4 minutes in a manner that's very basic. Essentially, they get to interact with it on a visceral level that we, in turn, have an opportunity to channel into, hopefully channel into a purchase decision at the end of gameplay by allowing a user to click through to Amazon or iTunes. So how did this come about? I made a timeline the other day and realized that we're really not talking about a long period of time here in the history of mobile and the history of iTunes. So iTunes, biggest music distributor in the world, launches in 2003, but the iPhone isn't released for another 4 years. Then the App Store launches in 2008, and we suddenly have a way to sort of marry the 2 platforms together. Tap Tap launched actually at the same time as the original App Store in 2008, so it was very much a case of right time, right place. It's a successful freemium model today because we had to start out by offering music for free in the game because the App Store didn't support in-app commerce at the time. But this also enabled us to begin a free music promotional program that remains probably one of the biggest cornerstones in the game today. It's called the Featured Track of the Week. Another key development that sprouted out of that was sort of the birth of the Tap Tap Revenge franchise, because early on the only way to support the free game was to actually develop standalone games for premium artists that sold for $4.99 on the App Store. So we started releasing greatest hits compilations as separate SKUs. Once Apple enabled in-app purchase, which was in 2009, we could finally launch a store inside of the game and sell game track bundles for 99 cents while continuing to promote our free content and to boost user retention. And that's when we could begin to focus really on growing a volume business inside the game. We did 1 million downloads in one day at the launch of the store. We were acquired by Disney in 2010, launched Tap Tap Revenge 4 that year, which went to #1 in 24 hours. So that brings us to today. Tap Tap Revenge essentially as a fully operational digital label. Today we've grown into a game that effectively works a bit as a label and as a distributor. We offer our artists marketing, promotion, advertising partnerships, global distribution. Our reach is now over 90 million downloads and a sales pipeline of over 30 million songs sold in the game, 3.8 billion songs downloaded, all wrapped up in a fun little piece of entertainment. And in my personal opinion, of course, our content is also unsurpassed. I feel that we offer the most music variety. We have top 10 hits. We feature emerging artists. We have very, very deep partnerships. I get to work with all the labels, music publishers, managers, sponsors, and probably most importantly, directly with the artists. In many cases, it's the artists that really play, and they love the game. They're looking for these types of opportunities for their music in a dwindling space. And they and their management help us to effectively cross-promote all of our game tracks with reciprocal marketing campaigns because they understand where their fan base is. We do A&R really, really well in the game. We have a lot of talent that's really great, and actually a few artists have been scouted out of the game and have signed the management deals as a result of it being an extremely effective discovery tool. We also use our growing network of apps to cross-promote all of our games, which is important. And we also, just because we're digital, we have an extremely fast marketing responsiveness and can work quickly with our partners. So one of the case studies I brought today, Katy Perry, what can we actually do for artists specifically? This was an interesting example of how we help support a single into a #1 position on iTunes. We had a hugely successful app. There were versions 1 and 2 for it that we did for a sponsor, Bing, and it featured Katy Perry. Both versions of the game went to #1 at launch on the App Store. We did over 5 million downloads. We drove 520 million clicks over to Bing's app and served up probably 16 to 20 million impressions across network. It was a wildly successful campaign for our sponsor. At the same time, Katy's new single, E.T., had launched in the top 10 of iTunes, and it sat for 3 weeks, sort of finally hitting around #6 on the charts. We launched the app featuring the single, and our app immediately went to #1 in 2 days, and it stayed there. Suddenly, the single, which hadn't been moving, suddenly jumped from #4, #2 to #1 in the same 7-day period. So I feel it's one of those things where you can't really discount 5 million impressions and people that are playing a new single in the game. And it's a great example of fast strategic timing and the fact that we could implement and launch this app quickly and work with her quickly to implement this campaign successfully. Another example is of what we can do to actually drive pre-sales and album releases. We recently got together with Tiesto's management. I noticed he's been in a number of presentations today, popular guy, to figure out a way to launch an awareness campaign for his new record, which just came out. It was a 1-week campaign. We featured 4 singles during that week. We had over 750,000 downloads, drove tens of thousands of users to iTunes and Amazon's for pre-sales up into the release window. Everyone loved it. The fans got to play songs before the album came out. We used Facebook heavily to integrate our communities and to cross-promote the campaign, and the result was higher sustained DAU, more Facebook likes, and a huge awareness for the album and the campaign in general. So the future, basically, I think right now, one of the challenges in the future is really going to be staying relevant in a quickly evolving space. And the solution to that is actually going to be artist integration. How do we allow our users to engage with the actual artist while they play a digital, audio, faceless game track? How do we bring them back into the game? I know I'm out of time, so 3 quick solutions. Social media. As the tools evolve, we want to continue to strategically integrate artist and fan communities in the game. We heavily use Facebook, Twitter, sponsored opportunities, YouTube, shared content that's created by the artist in many cases. Fan services. We want to offer concerts. We want to do ticketing. We want to do tour promotion inside the app. We can sell merchandise. These offers can also be geo-targeted and even tied into promotions that are transparent and fun for the artist. And then localization. We're global. We're a global game. People all over the world are downloading our games. We need international content, localized apps that are translated into different languages in key markets, and we can't really ignore these places like India and China, where we really need to diversify and serve up game content strategically to work in those regions. So could be the new digital 360 deal. Everybody plays the game, discovers music, stays in the app, gets everything that they want from an artist.
Thanks very much. Just a round of applause for Gwen. Gwen.
I just have a couple questions for you. A great presentation, thanks very much. From Disney's perspective, I mean, you own so much IP around the world. There's so much you can, leverage across these mobile platforms. What sort of trends are you seeing in mobile that, with someone with your sort of a company as big as yours, a lot of the big companies have struggled to sort of insert themselves into these new emerging, you'd think that Facebook would have been created by, a large multinational, but it wasn't. It was created by something small. So you're doing some really innovative stuff within Disney, the way that you push things forward. What are some of the trends you're seeing overall in mobile from a content perspective that you feel people need to understand who are sort of on the content side?
Well, I think one of the key was really integrating Silicon Valley technology into an entertainment company like Disney, which is a very, very unique experience. So
right.
We brought in a team of people who are innovators and want to create innovative games. And I think it's the game playing first that's really going to be the driver for content. It's not, in a larger company, sometimes you have a lot of marketing apps that go out to support things like a movie release and other initiatives, and they live out there and they kind of get the job done in a couple of weeks, and then they're gone and they disappear and they become one of 200 that are living on your cell phone.
Yeah. Or my TV.
Yeah, or your TV, apparently now. So, I think the goal right now is 5-star games. We want to be in the business of creating standalone 5-star games.
Because I heard it was like 63% of people are 63% of the apps used are for gaming, right?
Yes.
And for most apps are used for gaming.
And it's a crowded space, and so staying relevant means that the content has to come first. And if you create, if you want to create a puzzle game, create a 5-star puzzle app and make it the best that you can.
How do you do it if you're not Disney? Where do you get the money?
Innovation, I think you can raise the money. I mean, I think the financing is there. I think the venture capital is there. I mean, people want to invest in a game that they think is going to be sticky and fun, and it has to be driven by the content. If you have good content and you can create good content, the money will follow, and you can get noticed in that way.
Great. Thank you very much. Great presentation. It's Gwen Riley. Please, round of applause for her.